Hello and welcome to the ePremier League Invitational. I'm Adam Smith and I'm pleased to say that I'll be alongside my good friends Joe Tomlinson and Harry Panera as we bring you 5 days of competitive FIFA action to find out who is the best FIFA 20 player from the Premier League. We're currently on day 1 going into match 3. And Joe, we've seen some all right games so far. Goals galore in the opening 2 games.
Yeah, I think that's an understatement. We've seen 7 goals in each of the last 2 games, 14 goals in total already today, and we've only played 2 games. But a quick reminder, if you are watching from home, stay home and save lives. All of the prize fund from this ePremier League Invitational is going to be donated towards the Players Together initiative, so that's great to see. Now, as Smithy said, we've already had 2 big results so far today. We've had Aston Villa against Brighton, where Neil Maupay hammered John McGinn 6-1. Arsenal were represented by Josh Franceschi, and he defeated Nathaniel Chalobah 4-3 in a hotly contested game that saw Chalobah come from behind to make it 3-0 before Josh got a last-minute winner. Next game we're going to see is Burnley versus West Ham, and the final game of the day is the South Coast derby between Bournemouth and Southampton. Let's see who's representing the teams then. Up next, we've got Dwight McNeil representing Burnley and Ryan Fredericks representing West Ham. The final game of the day will see one of the tournament's favourite players, Philip Billing, take on Angus Gunn of Southampton. Smithy, unbelievable game so far. Do you want to just give people that are tuning in now a quick rule reminder?
Yeah, of course, these are the all-important rules for the tournament you need to be aware of. The EPL Invitational is a straight knockout tournament. You lose 1 game and you are out. It is as simple as that. The tournament takes place over 5 days and each round consists of just 1 single match. Every single Premier League club is represented either by a player from their squad or a celebrity fan. The draw took place yesterday, courtesy of Jamie Redknapp. On day 1, there are 4 round 1 qualifying matches. We then go into the last 16 on days 2 and 3, and the quarterfinals take place on day 4. Both semi-finals and the final will take place on Saturday, which is of course our 5th and final day. Games will consist of 2 6-minute halves. In the event of a draw, the result will then be determined by a golden goal. Every Premier League squad will be 85 rated in kickoff mode as they battle on PS4 to find out who is the best player in the league.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Josh Franceschi getting through that game, and he will play the winner of today's next matchup, Burnley versus West Ham, either Dwight McNeil or Ryan Fredericks. Neil Maupay breezed through, quite frankly, in the first game of the day, and he will be facing either Philip Billing or Angus Gunn from Southampton. There are some other massive games. You guys will notice that Man United Liverpool was drawn as one of the first games out in the round of 16. We've also got City versus Palace, Wolves, Leicester. We've got Todd Cantwell, who is the tournament favourite. I keep saying it at every stream. He'll be taking on Lys Mousset of Sheffield United. Tottenham Newcastle, I think, is going to be an interesting one tomorrow, though, Smithy, because Moussa Sissoko will be playing against his old team.
Yeah, exactly that. Moussa Sissoko against former club Newcastle. So many big fixtures there, Joe. Man City, Palace sees, of course, Raheem Sterling against Wilfried Zaha. So a lot of big matches, but I'm very much looking forward to this one. Dwight McNeil against Ryan Fredericks, and I think we can have a little word with Dwight now. Dwight, it's Smithy. How are you going into this game? I think we're having a few technical difficulties. We can see you, Dwight, but we can't hear Dwight at the minute. Dwight, can you hear us all right? We can't. We can hear you now. There we go. I was asking you how you're feeling. Are you confident? Are you nervous going into this? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, a bit of both, but no, I've been practicing recently and hopefully get the win today.
Now, I've spoken to you before. We've chatted occasionally about FIFA. I spoke to you about FIFA. We've interviewed about FIFA. I've seen you play FIFA. You're a bit of a sort of favourite in this. I'm not going to say you are the favourite for the tournament, but you are, let's be honest, a good FIFA player, aren't you?
I'm all right. I can obviously make mistakes, but obviously today hopefully can get the win and progress into the next round.
And of course, your first round matchup is against Ryan Fredericks of West Ham. What do you know about your opponent going into this?
Don't know anything. What his playing style is, how he plays. Is he defensive? Does he keep the ball? But we'll have to see when we get in there.
Does that make it easier or harder not knowing? Because I suppose in a way, if you don't know how good he is, it can relax you. But obviously not knowing his style and his tactics can also work the other way. So is that a good or a bad thing, not knowing what he's like, do you think?
I think it's a bit of both. like you said. But no, I'm looking forward to it and just do my best and see what the result.
Okay, so they are the thoughts of Dwight McNeil. Dwight McNeil looking very serious, and a lot of people, we've seen a lot of people getting their thoughts in. Look, he's smiling, he's laughing, he doesn't want to admit it, but a lot of people know that he is a bit of a player, Joe. So it'd be interesting to see how Dwight gets on in his first match.
Yeah, exactly. We've also got Ryan Fredericks on the line. Ryan, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you, mate.
So Dwight there saying he doesn't know how you're going to play, how you're going to line up. Do you want to give away anything now before we get into the game?
I don't really know myself, to be honest, mate. I just get out there and try and score a few goals.
Okay, Dwight says he plays quite a lot. How often do you play FIFA yourself?
I used to play it quite a bit, to be fair. And then when other games come out, I started playing them more. So I haven't played for a few months.
Are you going to be competitive in the lineup today? Are we going to see you fist pumping if you score goals?
Nah, way too early for that. It'll get rubbed in my face if I go on to lose the next game. So.
Okay, way too early. I'd say you sound quietly confident though, Ryan. Smithy, over to you.
Yeah, okay, so this is the time. As we know, every game, prior to each match, we are going to do a little bit of a FIFA versus, so a quiz-off between the players. So this is going to take place before every match in the EPO Invitational. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to ask Dwight McNeil 5 questions. Then I'm going to ask Ryan 5 questions, testing your knowledge on FIFA. So, Dwight, you're up first. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready, yeah.
Let's do it. Okay. Dwight, okay, we want to compare you and your opponent today. So can you tell me who is higher rated on FIFA 20, Ryan Fredericks or Dwight McNeil?
See, it's close. I think it's just me, yeah.
Right, can I just say as well, it's a very tough first question. I didn't write them, but you're both rated
same,
74. So it's a tough first question, but that is wrong. So next question. We know crossing is the strength of your game, but in a head-to-head, who is better, your teammate Robbie Brady or West Ham's Robert Snodgrass? So on crossing, Robbie Brady or Robert Snodgrass?
I'll get back Robbie. Yeah, Robbie Brady.
It's not Robbie Brady. It is Snodgrass by 1 again. Apologies. That is 0 out of 2, Dwight. Next up, last time I spoke to you, we did a little FIFA interview, and you actually said very modestly you think you should be slower on the game. In reference of that, we want to know who you think is slower out of Jack Cork or Mark Noble.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I love how Ryan's laughing at this. I'll give you a clue. Neither of them are that quick.
No. I don't want it. Corky.
I've got to say, I'm sorry, you're wrong again. Jack Cork, 47. Mark Noble, Ryan, 41 for pace, Ryan.
Yeah, that's not his game. He's a passer. He's not a runner. Maybe
clever. I like how you
day,
answered that.
Not now.
Very, very clever. Right, 4th question. Who, according to FIFA 20, is the better passer, Ashley Westwood or Johan Berg Gudmundsson?
West side, Ashley Westwood.
It is. Ashley Westwood, 79, Gudmundsson, 78. 1 out of 4. Congrats, Dwight. Final question. Who has the highest aggression stat, Ashley Barnes or Phil Bardsley?
Bardo. Phil Bardsley. Bardo.
It's not. They've given it to Ashley Barnes. So should that be...
Oh, no.
It's not, no. Should it be Bardsley? Should it be Bardsley?
Bardo's the most aggressive guy. Even in training, sometimes, if he loses it, then sliding tackles coming out everywhere. But I will give it Bardo.
He's like that all the time, aggressive 24/7. Yeah.
Yeah, the way he plays, is just the way he trains. But best way to be, isn't it?
Okay, Ryan. Dwight McNeil scored 1 out of 5, so of course you just need to get 2 right to win. These are Ryan Fredericks' 5 FIFA questions. Of course, Ryan, you are known for your pace, but who is faster, yourself or Burnley's Mate Vidra, according to FIFA 20?
I'd have to go with myself, to be fair.
Correct, it is yourself, and of course you are absolutely rapid on the game, 92, which is the fastest on West Ham team. Equalled Dwight's score already after just 1 question. Next up.
I'm just bad at the game as he's answering questions.
Dwight, you just need 1 to win. Are you getting nervous, Dwight, about
1
this?
to win. Yeah, it's not a good start, is it, already? But luckily, it don't go to the game. Like, you don't get excited.
Okay, next up, Ryan. Of course, we know West Ham got a few good penalty experts in your side, but I want to know who is better At penalties, Mark Noble or Sebastian Haller, according to FIFA 20?
I think it's Seb. I think I saw his stat the other day when I was practicing a little bit. I think it's like 91 or something like that.
Spot on. It is Seb Haller. Spot on. It is 91. And he's been practicing, Dwight. This is nervous times for Dwight McNeil. It is 2 out of 2.
Yeah, he'll be taking my pens. He'll be taking my pens if I get one.
Love it. This is a good one, this. Both yourself and your opponent today, Dwight, are 74 rated, but which one of you has the better dribbling stats? It's very close.
I have to go with Dwight, to be fair. He's a winger, innit? So he should have the better dribbling.
Ryan Fredericks, 72. Dwight McNeil, 75. It is correct. It's 3 out of 3.
Yeah.
So it's a nice question, actually. I've done this. So, Dwight, you win the highest stat, but Ryan gets the question. So I'm keeping both of you happy. Fourth question. Who has the best defending, Balbuena or Ben Mee?
Ooh. Sorry, Balbuena, but I think probably Ben on the game.
No, it's not. Balbuena 80, Ben Mee 79. So that is 3 out of 4 going into the last question. As a defender, we've got to include tackling question, of course. Which player has the best slide tackle stat on the West Ham team?
Maybe Declan Rice.
It's not. It's Issa Diop, but it didn't matter because you do win. Scores on the doors. 1 out of 5 for Dwight McNeil. 3 out of 5. Ryan Fredericks. Ryan, what does that mean to you? You've won the first battle. Does that give you confidence going into the game?
I'll take the psychological battle. See if that transfers into the game. Hopefully it does.
Love it. Okay, guys, you can start the game. We are ready to go. Harry, another competitive quiz, but of course, Ryan coming out on top.
Yes, another good quiz. I can see another gaming chair. And we know what gaming chairs are like after the first game.
That's my cod chair.
Oh, the cod chair. So that's for the back support then.
Yeah, it's my cod chair.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. Hey, Joe, this is going to be probably one of the most serious games out of the 3. I can see both of them are probably good at FIFA. What do you think is going to happen in this game, Joe?
Yeah, this is for sure going to be a tight affair. Obviously, we saw Josh Franceschi get through, so this is to face Josh Franceschi in the next round. And we are kicked off here. Burnley obviously starting us off against West Ham. Dwight McNeil versus Ryan Fredericks, all to play for, of course. Both of the teams playing in 85 mode, so all of the 8 players are 85 rated. No unevenness there. All 3-star skills, so expect a few drag backs and stuff like that. And I think we can see early doors how Dwight's going to play. It's going to be possession-based football, Smithy.
Yeah, it is indeed. Dwight McNeil with the first chance, but it's collected by the keeper. What's interesting as well, these two have met each other before on the pitch, of course. Burnley coming up 3-0 winners at West Ham. And, of course, both Dwight McNeil and Fredericks played the full match. They would have been up against each other as well, because Dwight McNeil playing on the wing and, of course, Ryan playing as a fullback. And McNeil got an assist for Chris Wood's goal that day. So they've come up against each other on the pitch. Dwight McNeil victorious that day. And interesting to see who will come out on top in our third game of the day, of day 1. Joe, it should be a cracker, this.
Yeah, we've seen some fantastic FIFA ability already. I'd say Neil Maupay looks like the current favourite from the players we've seen, obviously dispatching John McGinn 6-1, a fairly comfortable affair, opening the ties up. But I think Josh Franceschi could be a little bit of a dark horse, you know. He's got a lot of time in his hands at the moment to practice, obviously, as a musician. And I think he'll be giving whoever wins this game a really, really tough match in the next round. Obviously, there are some other big players in there. Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to fancy himself against Tom Grennan. I think Todd Cantwell is going to fancy himself, as is Philip Billing, and he would face Neil Maupay in the next round. So it's going to be a really interesting next few days. Harry, are the people sending in any questions, any thoughts?
Yes, a lot of questions. I'm going to start with one question for Dwight. Dwight, what was the first FIFA you played?
Oh, first FIFA? Probably FIFA 7 when my dad was on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And was he the most selected player from you?
For me, yeah. He was, yeah.
Okay, I can only imagine. I've got one for Ryan as well. Ryan, do you ever FIFA rage quit?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
I love the honesty there. I love the honesty.
Oh, wow. Oh. Yeah, if it goes past 2-0, That's me done.
There's a chance. Oh, Dwight's hit the post.
Oh,
Really good build-up play by Dwight McNeil. Very patient, very similar to Neil Maupay in style of passing it in around the area very intricately. And that's a risk from Ryan Fredericks on the edge of his own box. And now Dwight McNeil looking to take advantage of that mistake. Very patient build-up, lots of intricate passing around the edge, as we saw also from Neil Maupay, as I just said. I think we've got a bit of a FIFA player on our hands. Here is Dwight McNeil, and that is 1-0 to Burnley. 20 minutes into the game, Jay Rodriguez with the goal. Burnley 1, West Ham 0, Harry.
Dwight McNeil, please explain to us, talk us through that goal, man. Amazing goal.
It's just about keeping, isn't it? Staying composed around the area and find the opening.
Strong finish there, Joe. He's a man that is serious. I already knew this game was going to be tight, but how tight is this game, Joe?
Yeah, you can tell that Dwight McNeil definitely plays his FIFA at home. The slow, patient, intricate build-up around the box, taking your time, looking to pick the man out when he is free. But, Ryan's coming back into it now. This is a strong attack.
Ooh.
And you can see this could be one of the closest games we've had so far. Even the 4-3, Josh Franceschi at one stage was kind of rolling away with the game. And Nathaniel managed to pull it back in the last 5 minutes. So this looks like it's going to be an exciting game, Smithy.
yeah, I think Dwight dominating possession early on, but Ryan just feeling his way back into the game. I think this is going to be a very tight game, as we said earlier. We saw a tight game for our second match, but I think we're going to see a very close encounter here. Dwight McNeil, of course, worth pointing out, been on great form on the pitch in the Premier League this season. One of only 4 players to start every league game for Burnley this season. He's incidentally the youngest player to have started every Premier League game for their club this season as well. 2,534 minutes is the third most of any player aged 21 or younger. So a man in form on the pitch. He's got an assist against West Ham. He played against Ryan earlier on in the season, and he looks like he is going to be a very decent FIFA player as well. But not a lot in this, Joe. 1-0 currently as we approach the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, Dwight McNeil carving open a few opportunities there. I really like this patient build-up from him. You can definitely tell he plays a lot of FIFA when he's not on the training ground. But there are some exceptional players in this tournament, so there's a long, long way to go, of course. This is just for a spot in the last 16. 12 teams did get byes through to that stage.
Yeah.
Aston Villa, Brighton, Bournemouth, Southampton, Arsenal, Watford of this game. Burnley, West Ham were the 4 teams that didn't, or the 8 teams, sorry, that didn't. 4 of them will be going through. And at the moment, Burnley, with 10 minutes left of this first half, are comfortable. They look okay on the ball, although West Ham progressing it nicely up the field now, Harry.
Yeah, it seems as if Ryan's literally trying to find some space, but he's not being allowed by Dwight. So it's very, very tight game. I've got a question for Ryan. Do you mock your opponents with your celebration? Oh, technical difficulties there.
As if it's gone off. Share
What's that?
play's been
Is
lost.
there?
What is it?
The share play's gone off.
What are you saying? Restart the game, yeah?
Let's see if we
What
can
does
get
that
it
mean?
back.
What do I have to do?
Okay, so we've got a few technical issues here.
Do I have to
We'll let the
pause it?
guys sort that out behind the scenes. Adam, what did you make of that first sort of 20, 30 minutes of gameplay? Obviously, Dwight McNeil controlling the ball brilliantly in the midfield and scoring a great goal early doors. Do you think he looks as a strong contender as the likes of Neil Maupay?
Yeah, I think we do. I think the difference is just to elaborate on what you said there, Joe, about the technical fault. We have got a technical difficulty with the game, so that is being sorted out with the players. I believe it was 32 minutes on the clock, and it was 1-0 to Brighton, to Burnley, to Dwight McNeil. So we will obviously resolve that technical issue and be back in the game very shortly. But yeah, I think the difference, Joe, is that Neil Maupay got off to such a quick early start in terms of goals. It was 4-0 up, I think, in the space of about 30 minutes. The difference with this, I think, we've seen Dwight McNeil straight away dominating possession and on the ball a lot. But it is only 1-0, so it does make us think that this is going to be quite a tight game. And I do expect Ryan to score at some stage in this game.
Yeah, I think we were talking about Dwight McNeil coming into this game as one of the favourites for the tournament, weren't we? Alongside the likes of Todd Cantwell, Philip Billing, Trent Alexander-Arnold, plays a lot himself. Harry, have you been impressed by his start?
Yeah, very impressed, very composed. He looks like he's very, very subtle player. Doesn't go for the extravagant stuff, and he will kill you with any open chances. So I'm so excited for the game to come back on. But listen, Ryan, I do feel like he's someone that will come and surprise us. So I don't want to just write him off too soon. So I'm excited for this to start again, man.
Yeah, I noticed he recently played Mikel Antonio and won 2-0 as well there, Smithy. So people shouldn't be writing off Ryan Fredericks just yet.
No, you're right. He has had some big FIFA games that we have, lucky enough, been able to see at some point. Ryan Fredericks played Mikel Antonio, as you said, won 2-0, but he also played Declan Rice and lost 2-1. So it makes me think that there's a very competitive FIFA scene going on at West Ham. And obviously, we've both spoken to Mikel Antonio and Declan Rice at different parts in the season about their love for FIFA. So there's a real strong FIFA competitive element going on at West Ham. And I know that Ryan Fredericks is one of those elite players, or one of the players that you'd put in the category of being strong at FIFA and playing a lot of games. And I think he's got a tough first round draw. I think that's very important. You have to bear in mind who they're coming up against. And Dwight McNeil looks like he is going to be a serious player in this game, Joe.
Yeah, it looks like we're back in the game, boys. I don't know whether you can still hear us. If you can, feel free to resume the match because we are back and ready. I think it's back and working now, fingers crossed. Harry, having watched Josh Franceschi earlier, how do you think the winner of this game would shape up against him?
Well, I'm not too sure, but I think these lads have got more of a waiting game plan in comparison to the front three of Arsenal. So it's a bit of a difficult question to answer, but very confident in these two lads, especially Dwight at the moment. But like I said, Ryan's an underdog here, so let's not write him off yet. So can't wait for this to continue.
Plenty of time left in this game. We are approaching the half-time stage, though. It'll be interesting to see whether or not either of them opt to make any changes. That was really pivotal in the game between Nathaniel Chalobah and Josh Franceschi. Of course, we have also seen Neal Maupay win very, very comfortably earlier today, and our final game will feature Philip Billing, who, according to a lot of the FIFA community, is one of the better footballers on the game. There is the half-time whistle. Harry, are there any questions for the players from the fans?
Yes, a lot of questions. Okay, so one for Dwight. Dwight, what has been your favourite goal for Burnley?
Oh, my favourite goal? I think my most... Can you hear me?
Yes,
yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, sorry. My most important goal, best goal, I think it's probably the Wolves one last season, because the way it was after international break, and we had some big games coming up, like Cardiff and Bournemouth away. And it's just an important time to get the second goal, and it was crucial in our season, and proved for us to stay up in the league.
Oh, great. Thank you for answering that. And now, Ryan, I've got one for you. We've already been noted how fast you are, 92 on FIFA, but is there anyone who you have personal races with in a training ground at West Ham?
I don't think they really let us do like a flat out 100-meter race because in case of injury or something.
Yeah.
But when I come up against like Anderson or Antonio in training, it's always a tough battle, and we're getting some good races there.
Okay, cool. So the game's about to restart. Good luck for the second half, Joe. Tough one. Let's go, man.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough second half here for Ryan Fredericks. Needs to progress the ball forward because we know how well Dwight McNeil defends. Very, very compact. Then he keeps the ball. It's difficult to get it off him. You can just see him progress up the field now, though, Fredericks. And here will be a chance. A free kick on the edge of the box there. Ben Mee giving away a foul in a very, very dangerous position here for Ryan Fredericks. Needs to make the most of this. He's going to put Felipe Anderson over the dead ball, 23 yards out. Let's see what happens. He switched up, free kick taker. Obviously taking his time. Ooh, just over the bar there, just over the bar. So the score says 1-0 to Burnley, Smithy.
Yeah, 1-0. I thought that was a big chance there for West Ham, but danger is clear. Just earlier on the first half, we were talking about Dwight McNeil and the season that he's having, Joe. 5 Premier League assists, 3 goals as well. Stats are really impressive. Second best crossing actually in the Premier League, created the most chances this season of any Burnley player. So he is definitely a man in form. Youngest player since Raheem Sterling to reach 10 Premier League assists as well. So man in form on the pitch. But also he's coming up against a guy who, as we said on the game, Ryan Fredericks, absolutely rapid, quickest player at West Ham. One of the quickest players in the Premier League as well. So 2 players that have played against each other in the Premier League, literally against each other on the wing and at fullback. And there's not a lot in this game at the minute, Joe. I think that second goal is an obvious thing to say in football, but this next goal is going to be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, 100%. I think we saw 14 goals across the first 2 games. It looks like this one isn't going to see as many, but it is just as tight as the last one between Josh Franceschi and Nathaniel Chalobah. Dwight McNeil just continuing with that slow, progressive build-up style, you know, looking to pick the gaps. Very, very similar to Neil Maupay's style. And those are two players that could well face each other at the quarter-final stage if they do indeed progress. McNeil into the box here. It's very intricate. Dwight McNeil makes it 2-0. Lovely football by Dwight McNeil. Great build-up, Harry.
Great build-up. And as I said, the subtle approach has worked again. So Dwight, this way of attacking, is this what works for you, taking your time with it?
Yeah, this is what works for me. Slow build-up. Looking always to cause an opening, if not try and switch out the other side and always get that opening, but just about taking chances in it as well at the end of the day, and anything could happen, so could be still half an hour left in this game.
Of course. And Ryan, what is the game plan going in to the last 20, 30 minutes of the game?
It's gonna just try attack now. Try and get hold of the ball.
Is it time for ultra
attacking? Yeah, of course. Let's go.
Let's go, lads. Let's go.
Let's go, man.
Ryan, are you still confident you can turn this around? 30 minutes left, 2-0. What are your thoughts?
If I get the next goal, I'm back in it, but it's not looking likely at all now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, big last half an hour coming up, Joe. And it's interesting looking at the draw, Joe. I want to just talk about who the winners will play. So this is, of course, Burnley, West Ham, as we've said. 30 minutes left, currently 2-0 Burnley. The winners will play Josh Franceschi from Arsenal, one of our 2 celebrity players. A big Arsenal fan from UME at 6, of course. So that is who faces the winner of this game.
Dwight McNeil, sorry, Adam. He's in, and he's missed the rebound as well. A fantastic chance. Sean Dyche on the sideline there, not happy with that piece of finishing from, I think, Chris Wood.
Yeah, it was interesting to see in the
this game. Here's a chance for Fredericks, and he has got the next goal. 2-1. Ojeti with the goal, Harry.
Ryan Fredericks didn't even let us see the replay. That's how serious he is about that goal. He's back in there. I did say, don't watch out for Ryan. I told you, the game of chair. I did warn you guys. He wasn't listening, Smithy. They didn't listen to me.
Ryan, what a finish that was. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, I'll be happy if I get another one, though. Chance.
Ooh. Here's a chance then for West Ham on the counter-attack. Very good chance for Ryan Fredericks in and around the area. Chance, and it's a goal! He's back in the game. 2-2, an unbelievable turnaround in the last 5 minutes. Ryan, what have you changed?
He's daffy.
He's dabbing.
He's only good on dab.
Getting a few chances. But Dwight's still the favourite, of course. He's hammered me this game, so we'll probably go and score 2 or 3 more now.
You still have Dwight favourite, Ryan, despite the fact you scored 2 in a quick space of time. You still say Dwight's slight favourite, would you, in the last 20 minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what this game does, doesn't it? Anything could happen.
So Dwight, what's your thought process now? What are you changing? Man.
I'm not changing anything. I just keep playing the way I'm playing. Hopefully create a chance.
All to play for then, last 20 minutes here. Burnley 2, West Ham 2. Of course, if it does end as a draw, this will go to golden goal between Dwight McNeil and Ryan Fredericks.
What's that, man?
Oh. Just rushing it a bit here. It's very, very tense. 15 minutes left to play, Smithy.
Yeah, 2-0 lead Dwight McNeil had. Once again, I've got to say, Joe, the substitutions and the tactical change we've seen have worked in all 3 matches. Ryan Fredericks was the same, made a few changes, and he's right back in this game. It's 2-2 with 74 minutes on the clock. Fascinating last 15 minutes. And of course, this is game 3 of day 1. We haven't seen a match end in a draw. If it does, this will be the first game that ends in a draw. We do then go to golden goal. So it'll be interesting to see how the players' nerves will hold out for golden goal. As Dwight McNeil's on the attack, Joe.
There's a chance for Dwight McNeil. Oh, it's fantastic defending from the defender in the game, Ryan Fredericks. That's really good work. But Dwight McNeil looking to cause some openings. Here's McNeil, here's a chance, and it's 3-2 with 12 minutes left on the clock. Dwight McNeil scores with himself, Harry.
Oh, he scores with himself. What a finish, Dwight. I must ask you a question. How good does
Yeah.
your player look? Does he look like you?
Yeah, I think on FIFA 19 he didn't look as like me, but this year I think he looked second to none. Every time I see it, I laugh, and because I play with my ultimate team, I just laugh. I think it's quality, the graphics.
So Ryan, you've just conceded. It's 3-2. How's it looking?
We still got time. I mean, we just need one chance.
Yeah.
It's trying to shut him out of the other end's the problem.
Joe, I don't think we could have anticipated it.
I took off Nobes and put on Lanzini. Get a bit more creativity in that midfield. Just sub myself for that defending.
It's gonna need some attacking impetus here from Ryan Fredericks in the last 12 minutes to get something out of this game. 3-2 for Dwight McNeil. Dwight, what changes did you just make there?
I brought Vids on and Azza for a bit of pace, a bit of fresh legs.
You fresh legs going forward, especially. It looks like he's going to stay attacking. Ryan Fredericks, though, to the byline. And he's still going, Fredericks. It's a chance. It's a scramble. But it's well defended in the end by Dwight McNeil. Smithy, if this game does stay as it is 3-2, what can we expect over the next few days?
Oh, so much competitive FIFA to bring you. As we say, it is a one-game knockout. You lose one match and you're out of the tournament. Dwight with a chance here. Oh, good save. One loss and you're out of the tournament, Joe. This is the round one stage. 8 teams, 4 matches in round one, and then the rest of us will join for the last 16. Every single Premier League club is represented. The winner of this match, which is, of course, Burnley West Ham, will play Josh Franceschi from UMIT 6, who won earlier today from Arsenal. So he is the Arsenal representative. So every team will be playing. We'll be with you all up until Saturday, which is the grand final day. Fascinated to see who will be crowned the first ever EPL Invitational winner. Not long to go now, Joe. You feel like Ryan Fredericks might have one last chance to get into it. And if he does get a chance, he's surely got to take it.
Yeah, I mean, ultra attacking mode will be switched firmly on right now from Ryan Fredericks. Needs that goal, doesn't he? 3 minutes left on the clock. Dwight McNeil still continuing with that really intricate build-up. And then I think that's a foul in the middle, or it might be offside. But either way, Dwight McNeil looks like a serious player here in terms of the build-up play and the strategy he's put forward. Obviously, one of the first players to score with his own character so far on the game. Harry, how impressed have you been with Dwight's output so far?
Very, very impressed, actually. He's stuck to his formation, stuck to his style of football. Even though Ryan came back and scored 2 goals, he didn't change the way he played. I even asked him if he was going to change anything, and he said nothing. And he proved me wrong, basically.
What a tackle that is, by the way, by Ryan Fredericks. Unbelievable bit of defending, and then a brilliant ball to release the wide man.
Oh my days!
Here's a chance!
Oh my god!
Gosh. What a chance in the 93rd minute from Ryan Fredericks.
Oh, last chance of the game.
But it's not to be, and Burnley run out 3-2 winners against West Ham, Smithy.
Yes, big win. So there we have it. Burnley advanced. Dwight McNeil. Dwight, Ryan, brilliant game. Thanks both for being involved. Dwight, 3-2. And of course, the winning goal was scored by yourself in the game. Give us an insight into what that feels like. We all play Ultimate Team. We don't have that luxury. We can't score with ourselves in the game. What was it like for Dwight McNeil to play and Dwight McNeil to score the winning goal?
Amazing feeling. Obviously happy for my character to get the winning goal, but the main thing is about progress to the next round.
Yeah, Harry, thoughts on the game? Ryan, great effort, but ultimately came up a bit short.
Yeah,
back on COD for me.
Yeah, Ryan, let's talk about your performance. 3-2, so close, having got it back to 2. I was interested that you said you still thought Dwight was the favourite. Why was that after scoring 2 goals in such quick succession?
It's just getting to run a play, really. You know, he had a lot more of the ball, a lot more opportunities. I was just clinical with my 2 chances. Yeah, it was hard to keep him out. He had a lot of the ball, he was keeping the ball well, so it was hard to play against.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that is your tournament over because it is obviously a straight knockout. You've played against Dwight. How far do you think he can go? He looks a very, very good FIFA player.
Yeah, hopefully all the way. So at least I can say I got beaten against the winner.
Love that. Dwight, how are you feeling now? You look a lot more relaxed than you were 5 minutes ago. Next opponent, you're up against Arsenal. How do you think that'll go?
Yeah, different challenge in it, different team, different opponent. But no, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully just play the way I've been playing, and you never know what could happen in the next round.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations to Dwight McNeil. Commiserations to Ryan Fredericks. Thank you both. We'll see you again very soon, Dwight McNeil. Joe, another classic game.
Yes.
And we are being blessed in this tournament with just so many goals.
So many goals. I mean, we saw 7 in the first 2 games each, didn't we? So some really good FIFA on show, by the way. Dwight McNeil obviously knows the game very well with that intricate slow build-up, looking to pick passes through the lines the same way Neil Maupay did. Josh Franceschi, slightly different strategy, a little bit more direct, using the pace of that forward line, using the likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to great effect. And that's going to be some clash. Josh Franceschi versus Dwight McNeil in the next round, Smiths.
Yeah, Harry, I mean, we are being blessed with goals in this tournament. Another close game, though. The first one was very one-sided, but it just goes to show what a great format this tournament is, because players are going at it from minute one, and we've been blessed with so many goals. Another tight encounter.
Another tight encounter, different game, same results in terms of goals, which we all wanted. I love that game simply because it was back and forth, very tight, and I think that's what we needed. It shows that FIFA is a game, but it's really not, because you saw how serious they was. I can't wait to see the 4th game, man. Great game.
I think that's a great point, Harry, as well. What we're seeing is how competitive these players are. Obviously, we know they're competitive when they're on the pitch, but brilliantly, they want to win. Every single player who's been in this wants to win. So let's round up the matches from round 1. 3 games done, 1 to come on day 1 of the EPL Invitational. Neil Maupay, very emphatic 6-1 victory against Aston Villa. That is John McGinn and Aston Villa's tournament done and dusted. Arsenal, our first celebrity player, Josh Franceschi from UME at 6, beating Nathaniel Chalobah of Watford 4-3. And then our recent game, Dwight McNeil of Burnley, 2-0 up he was. Ryan Fredericks from West Ham got it back to 2-2. Skipped the replay, straight back into the game, but Dwight McNeil scored with Dwight McNeil late on to give Burnley the victory, and they advance the next round. Our next game will be Bournemouth against Southampton. We can see what this means for the draw. Of course, today's matches, 4 round 1 matches, 8 teams entering into round 1. This is all based on the draw that Jamie Redknapp did yesterday. The remaining 12 teams all enter in the last 16 stage, which we will bring you throughout the week. So Brighton, Arsenal and Burnley are 3 of our 4 round 1 teams that have advanced. The next game is Bournemouth against Southampton, South Coast derby. It is Philip Billing, one of the players highly tipped to go potentially all the way. We've mentioned 3 or 4 players that are very hotly tipped in the FIFA community. Philip Billing is one of those, going up against Angus Gunn. Joe, can't wait for this next game.
Yeah, very excited to see what Philip Billing has got in his locker. Obviously, everybody's talking about him online, him and Todd Cantwell being potential favourites for it. But, you know, we see Neil Maupay do absolute bits today, so I think he could be dangerous, as could Josh Franceschi and Dwight McNeil. Awesome games, and whoever wins this next one, the round of 16 tie against Neil Maupay is going to be an absolute epic.
Harry, I think what's exciting about this stage, which we've seen, is that we don't know a great deal about all of the competitors. So it's throwing up so many games with so many goals that it's quite exciting watching these round 1 games, because we're talking about Bournemouth and Philip Billing, but we're maybe doing Angus Gunn a disservice, because he might be a great player as well. We just don't know quite simply what's going to happen in this game.
I think that's a good thing. I think we're all going to expect the unknown. Obviously, the players which we know are good. That's a fact. But the players who we don't know, and some of the celebrities that we didn't know how good they are. So I think it's all an exciting time right now. Really and truly, I'm just expecting more goals. I think we've been blessed with 3 amazing games, and I hope it continues, which I know it will. But there's some big games to look out for, so I can't wait, man.
Yeah, okay, so that concludes our 3rd game from round 1, from day 1. Don't go anywhere, though, because we'll be back very shortly with our final game from round 1, from day 1. It's Bournemouth against Southampton. We'll be back very soon. Don't forget, stay home and save lives. See you soon. Hello and welcome to the ePremier League Invitational. I'm Adam Smith and I'm pleased to say that I will be alongside Joe Tomlinson and Harry Panero. This is the fourth game from day one of the tournament. We will be with you for the next 5 days to see who will be crowned the ultimate FIFA 20 player from the Premier League. Joe, last game of the day.
Last game of the day, but we've already seen 19 goals across 3 different games. Some amazing displays that was started off actually earlier in the day by Neil Maupay. He beat Aston Villa 6-1, and Aston Villa was represented by John McGinn, of course. Arsenal then went through against Watford 4-3. John Franceschi, who is our first celebrity player, by the way, beat Nathaniel Chalobah 4-3. Burnley beat West Ham 3-2. That was Dwight McNeil last game, scoring with himself in the 85th minute to knock out Ryan Fredericks. And the game we're all looking forward to that's coming up in just a moment is Bournemouth versus Southampton. Just a reminder, if you are watching at home, stay home and save lives. The prize fund for the Premier League Invitational Tournament is being donated to the Players Together initiative. And all the teams are on your screen now that are in the competition. We've got Man United, Liverpool, Tottenham against Newcastle. Chelsea will be playing Everton. Manchester City will be taking on Crystal Palace. A top 4 battle between Wolves and Leicester. Norwich against Sheffield United. And then we've seen Maupay go through already as Brighton beat Aston Villa. And then Arsenal, Burnley will be the game that also happens. But Bournemouth, Southampton is before all of those. It's coming up right now, Smithy. For the people that have just joined us in the stream, do you want to explain the rules?
Yes, I'd love to, Joe. These are the all-important rules that you need to be aware of. The EPL Invitational is a straight knockout tournament that takes place over 5 days. Each round consists of just one single matchup. Every single Premier League club is represented by either a player from their squad or a celebrity fan. The draw took place yesterday, which Joe just showed us there. On day one, there will be 4 round 1 qualifying matches. That is today, and we are heading into our last round 1 matchup shortly. We then go into the last 16 on days 2 and 3, and the quarterfinals take place on day 4. Both semi-finals and the final itself will take place on Saturday, our 5th and final day. Games will consist of 2 6-minute halves, and in the event of a draw, the result will be determined by a golden goal. Every Premier League squad will be 85 rated in kickoff mode as they battle on the PlayStation 4 to find out who is the best player in the league, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, we can have another look at that draw just to detail some of the players that are going to be representing their teams. Some very exciting stuff. Obviously, we've got Philip Billing versus Angus Gunn coming up. A few other notable names that will be taking part. We've got Raheem Sterling versus Wilfried Zaha in the Man City Crystal Palace game. We've got Diogo Jota against Wilfried Ndidi in Wolves versus Leicester. Todd Cantwell, the tournament favourite, will be taking on Lys Mousset of Sheffield United. And like you said, we've already had one celebrity fan, Smiths, play. We've got another playing tomorrow, Tom Grennan. He'll be taking on Trent Alexander-Arnold. And Moussa Sissoko will be returning back to his old team, Newcastle. I'm really looking forward to all of tomorrow's games, but we've got a massive game happening right now, Smithy, between another player who is hotly tipped for this contest, Philip Billing, and Angus Gunsmith.
Yes, the South Coast Derby, of course, Bournemouth against Southampton. I'm delighted to say the players, I believe, are with us now. So let's chat to our home team player first. Philip Billing, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, man.
Right, first question I want to ask you is, we were talking throughout the stream today about players that are favourite. We know that players that we think are going to be favourites to win and that are good at the game. And a lot of people in the FIFA community are saying that you are one of the players to beat. Would you agree with that?
One of the players to beat?
Yeah, one of the favourites for the tournament.
Oh, one of the favourites. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the others, so I don't know. I would like to think so. I think I'm all right at FIFA.
So amongst your Bournemouth teammates, are you one of the best at Bournemouth, would you say, at FIFA 20?
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to FIFA, then...
I love the confidence there, for sure. What do you know about your opponent as well? Angus Gunn today. South Coast Derby, of course, Bournemouth against Southampton. What do you know about your opponent today?
What about FIFA?
Yeah, about what he's like in the game.
No, I haven't heard anyone speak, about him. So I'll just have to see. I'm not too much how It might surprise me.
Okay, there we go. It's interesting, Joe, isn't it? A lot of players saying they don't know a lot about their opponents, which throws up so much excitement in this tournament because we just don't know what's going to happen. Joe, confident talk from Philip Billing. It'd be fascinating to see how this one unfolds.
Yeah, exactly. Angus, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I got you all good.
How are you feeling ahead of this one then, Angus? You just heard Philip there talking. Are you feeling confident in your own abilities?
Yeah, pretty confident, but after hearing what everyone's saying about this guy, and hopefully I don't get beaten by too much. That's all I'm saying.
How do you stack up in the Southampton squad then?
I don't know, to be honest. I've never played against any other lads really, so but I know a couple of them are probably better than me. But just got to give me best go and see what happens, innit?
Can you give us any inside knowledge on your tactics going into the game? Are you going to be playing a specific formation? Any specific players?
Just how it comes, really. Just sort of, put 10 men behind the ball and try and hit it over the top and see if I can get a good counter attack.
Sounds like Angus is going for the old style English football here, Smithster.
I love that. Love the honesty. Right, of course, we're going to have a little bit of a quiz to see how much both players know about the game before we get into our matchup. So, Philip, we're going to start with you as the home team. We're going to ask you 5 questions. They're all related to FIFA 20, just to see how many you get right out of 5. Then we'll go to Angus Gunn. So, Philip, are you ready for this? Okay, first up. Who do you think is stronger? Out of yourself or Steve Cook, according to FIFA 20?
Oh, I would probably Steve Cook because it's FIFA. So.
You are right. It's very tight, by the way. Billing 76, Cook 78. So you are correct. Well done. First one right. Right. Head to head. Which player is faster on FIFA 20? Bournemouth's Ryan Fraser or Southampton's Moussa Djenepo?
Moussa Djenepo.
It's not. It's Ryan Fraser, 90. Djenepo, 88. So it's very close, but Ryan Fraser is quicker. Next up, interceptions, as we know, are an important part of the game, but who has better interceptions out of Nathan Ake or Southampton's Jan Bednarek? You got Nathan Ake? I can tell you are correct by 1 point. So well done. 2 out of 3. Next up, who is better at shooting? For Bournemouth, Callum Wilson, or for Southampton, Danny Ings, once again, according to FIFA 20.
Danny.
You going Danny Ings? Incorrect. It is Wilson. Wilson 78 shooting, Danny Ings 74, which means you're currently on 2 out of 4 going into the last question. And as you're up against a goalkeeper, we want to know who is higher rated, Angus Gunn or Aaron Ramsdale?
Angus Gunn.
It is Angus Gunn. So it's a question that will make you both feel very happy because you got it right and it makes Angus happy as well. That is 3 out of 5. You happy with that? Happy with your knowledge? Getting 3 right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right with that. Yeah.
Okay, Angus, we go straight into you. 4 or more to win. Both you and Alex McCarthy are rated 76 on FIFA, but which one of you has the best kicking on the game? Best kicking, Gunn or McCarthy, Angus? What are you saying?
Say that again, sorry.
Oh, I thought we lost you. We had a few technical difficulties, but you're back. I thought you were just taking a long time to think of it because you're that competitive in this, which I liked. But I think we had, I think we had some technical difficulties. So the question 1 was, who has the best kicking, Gunn or McCarthy, according to FIFA 20? Okay, apparently we have lost Angus Gunn, unfortunately. We have got some technical difficulties, of course. Worth pointing out, we're all doing this remotely from our living rooms. Of course, the important message is you must stay home, stay safe. A lot of hard work has gone in behind the scenes to bring this to you. We will bring you both players very shortly. It's just a few minor technical difficulties. Joe, we'll bring you in here. Good start from Philip Billing there on the quiz. It seemed quite competitive.
Yeah, he seems confident about his FIFA ability as well, doesn't he? You notice how there was no hesitation in saying that, yeah, I'm one of the better players in the Bournemouth squad. So I'm looking forward to seeing Philip Billing step out onto this FIFA pitch, because he's been much talked about by people online. He's played in tournaments in the past, of course. So I think he could be one to watch.
Yeah, let's bring Harry in. Of course, delighted to say with us all week, Harry Panero, our good friend. There he is. Harry, we've watched some great matches so far. How much are you looking forward to our fourth and final game of day one? And of course, it's a derby match.
Derby match. As we've been speaking about all day about Billing and how good he is, so I'm so excited to finally see it happening. He seems very confident, which he said earlier about the Bournemouth team saying no one's on his level. So it'll be good to see what he has, and also to see how Gunn plays as well. It's going to be a good game, hopefully. But one thing we know is there's going to be a lot of goals, so it's guaranteed.
Joe, the other thing with this is as well, which we should touch upon as the week progresses, is there must be quite a bit of pressure, because we've seen lots of fans that are involved and that are engaged in this. And obviously, these players, only one player representing the team they play for. So there's quite a bit of pressure on the shoulder of all these players being the representative of the football club they play for.
Yeah, definitely. I think for the players, and even more so potentially for the celebrity fans, you don't want to let your team down, do you? The team that you've supported since you were a little kid. We saw Josh Franceschi saying that he'd been going to watch Arsenal since 6 months old. It's been his dream to represent Arsenal, and he's finally able to do so in the ePremier League Invitational. So the pressure from the audience, from the players, from the club on his shoulders is massive. I think some of the footballers might be used to it, obviously stepping out every single week and playing Premier League football. But for the celebrity fans, they're not used to having to take the pressure of the fans, of the team around them. So I think the celebrity fans have more pressure than the players, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good point, because he said he's such a big fan, season ticket holder. And also, interestingly, Harry, he was the one, I think I'm correct in saying, seemed the most stressful and nervous. Pre-match, he said he was stressed. Half-time, he was stressed. He was stressed when he was winning the game. And maybe that is because, like you say, he knows that when football is back sometime, he will be going and speaking to other Arsenal fans. And there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, isn't there, as a fan of the club?
He's a better man than I am. I can only imagine how he feels representing your team, and then obviously you're not even a player and you lose. But he done well. I think, you know what, with FIFA, it's one of those games where I think stress is what makes you a better player. Because if you're, too laxy-daisy with it, then you're probably going to concede a lot of goals. So we saw with the last game as well, that was a very stressful game. But it presented a lot of goals as well towards the end. So it's one of them ones where you just got to be very, very smart with how you play and what players to play. Sort of like a management game at the end of the day. So, I don't know how they do it, Smithy, man. But they're better than me, I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, they're better than all of us, I think. That's fair to say. Joe, let's talk about the favourites as well while we're just waiting for our players to reconnect. As I say, we are moments away from that, so we will be with you, with our players, getting our fourth and final game of the day underway very shortly. Let's just talk about some of the favourites. We've mentioned Neil Maupay. Philip Billing, we've spoken about a lot. I want to talk about Diogo Jota, because I've heard a few people talk him up in the FIFA community, and we haven't mentioned him yet as well. I think there's a lot of good players in this tournament. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I feel, is another one as well we know is good. It's very tough to call a winner so early on in this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Diogo Jota's got a tough tie, though, against Wilfred Ndidi. Wilfred Ndidi is going to be a hard man to get past. And it does often come down to the luck of the draw, doesn't it? We saw Jamie Redknapp in his back garden yesterday with his son doing the draw. And some of the big teams have been drawn against each other in the round of 16. Manchester United versus Liverpool. That would be Trent Alexander-Arnold versus Tom Grennan. That is a very, very tasty affair. And one a lot of fans probably would like to see deep in the competition. So I think it does come down to who you draw, to be totally honest. Neil Maupay, he came up against John McGinn. John said earlier, didn't he, that he'd only had 4 weeks worth of practice coming into this, whereas Neil Maupay has played hundreds and hundreds of games of FIFA Ultimate Team, looks a fantastic competitor. We saw the way he builds up from the back, similar sort of style of play to Dwight McNeil, very, very professional. And at the end of the day, he will be happy that he drew John McGinn first round, a nice warm-up game almost for him, whereas some of the other very strong candidates are playing each other.
Yeah, Harry, I think we should also touch upon that as well, about the format of this tournament the Premier League have put on. It's a brilliant format because it's one game that you lose and you're out, knockout all the way, and only one individual match per round as well. Do you think that the fact that that is the format has meant that we've had so many exciting games? Because so many goals that we've seen in the first 3 games is quite incredible, really, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Because there's no room for a rematch. There's no room for like any sort of disputes. It goes to golden goal as well. It can go to penalty. So whoever's supposed to be the best player will actually win. It's a tough format, and only the best can probably survive. And we're probably going to see that with who actually wins. But no, it's very good. Like I said, Neil Maupay, he got an easy game, but I don't think his next game is going to be the same. I think the level of quality is probably going to get better as the game goes on and on. So I'm excited to see that.
And you said excited there, Harry. I know that you've been very excited to see the animation from the players, the celebrations we've seen when they've scored. It's been good to see, isn't it? Proper competitive, this tournament.
Yeah, do you know what it is? I was going to ask some questions about the celebrations and which ones are the go-to ones, because I've got mine as well. Mine's usually the hand in the air just to say, you see me? Do you know what I mean? So like, I love to see what players want to do and cartwheels and all of that stuff as well. But I think when it's 2-1, you can't really be doing those celebrations too early because it can come back and get you like we saw earlier in those games. So it's a tough one to do at the moment.
Yeah, Joe, celebrations have been good. And of course, the other talking point, I suppose, from the day, Dwight McNeil winning the game with Dwight McNeil scoring the winning goal. I mean, that's just brilliant, isn't it? Something we'll never experience that because we're not professional players.
Yeah, awesome to see. I mean, that was a game, wasn't it, where you saw Ryan Fredericks just skip celebrations entirely. He pulled the game back and he just wanted to get the ball back to the halfway line and start playing again. And I thought he was a very good competitor, actually, Ryan Fredericks. Maybe a little bit unlucky to draw Dwight McNeil so early, who is one of the favourites for the competition. We've spoken about him, obviously, Todd Cantwell-Phillips, who's playing in a minute, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And, you know, I just really am excited for this game to start now. Bournemouth versus Southampton, Angus Gunn versus Philip Billing. South Coast Derby, it's two teams that aren't really separated by much in the Premier League table as it sits right now. Only 5 points separating them between 14th and 18th. And it's a hotly contested derby, Smithy.
Yeah, it is. How do you see it going, Harry? We've been doing predictions and thoughts throughout the day. Obviously, you know your FIFA. If I had to get a prediction from you for the fourth game, where'd you go?
See, I'm going to be on the fence here because I'm not too sure if I can judge this, but I think Billing might have it. It might pip it by us just because obviously he's been playing longer. But I like the underdog, so I'm going to go with Gunn.
Okay, interesting, Joe, from Harry there.
Yeah, that is brave. That is very brave. And we can see the teams being set up now. We have got Angus back in the building, which is great to see. Hopefully the internet connection holds out and we can get a game underway here. Both teams just tweaking their formations, putting the final touches to their tactics. Smithy, what's your prediction then for this? We've heard Harry's. What's your prediction?
Oh, I like the way you've thrown to me just as the players have joined us and they can both hear me when you're asking about the prediction. I would say, I think even speaking to Angus pre-match, Joe, he was very honest about, he didn't know where he sat in terms of the Southampton community, where he is. I think Philip, it's fair to say, would go into this as the favourite. As we said, within the FIFA community, a lot of people talking him up, saying that he is one of the favourites. So I'd put Philip as slight favourite for me going into this. But we've seen some very close games. I think we're going to get goals galore. Philip just edging it for me, Joe.
Okay, so the game is about to start there. Angus Gunn laughing about some of the predictions. It's going to be quite a tight one. I think either way, we're excited to see what is going on. That finishing, by the way, from Philip Billing in the arena looking rather tasty using Junior Stanislas.
Already.
Philip, I would like to ask you a question. It's Harry here. How do you rate how you look on FIFA?
Mine went up. Hey, mine got kicked in the game.
I think we might have a few more technical issues here. Just trying to get this game started right now. Smithy, let's just come back to you and just discuss what we've seen already today before this game gets underway. What have you made of it so far? Because we are 3 games deep.
It's been a brilliant tournament. I mean, we've seen, as we all know, every single Premier League team is involved. 18 of the 20 players playing are Premier League footballers, current players for the squad, 2 celebrity fans, which is throwing a nice dynamic into it, actually. Results so far, Villa 1, Brighton 6. So John McGinn's tournament is over. Aston Villa fans, sorry, that is the end of the tournament, end of the road for you. Arsenal 4, 4-3 winners against Watford. That was a really, really close game. Here they are now. And Burnley 3, West Ham 2. So Josh Franceschi of Arsenal, he is the singer from Yumi at 6, defeated Watford's Nathaniel Chalobah. So again, that is the end of the road for Watford. And then Burnley. Burnley in this game, interesting, we're 2-0 up. This was Dwight McNeil going up against Ryan Fredericks, and West Ham pulled it back to 2-2 before Dwight McNeil got a fairly late winner. So, yeah, so many goals we've been blessed with in the first 3 games. And our last round 1 match is Bournemouth against Southampton. So, yeah, hoping for more of the same, Joe, for this one.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have. If we've had 7 goals in the first game, 7 goals in the second game, and then 5 in the other one, it's going to guarantee goals. And the winner will face Neil Mopai. And Neil Mopai was unbelievable, putting 6 past John McGinn earlier. Has he been the best player so far today for you, Harry?
Yeah, definitely. Because I can see what he's good at. I'm good seeing that he's good at skills, he's good at shooting, he's good at possession play. So he seems to have it all. But I would like to see him against more tougher opposition. So that's why I think this league is going to be good, because we get to see players play against tough players and players who are not good. But yeah, for me, I think he's been the best player. What about you, Smithy?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, if you look at the score, I mean, 6-1 is so emphatic. And also within that, for people that missed that game, it was 4-0 up at a very early stage. John McGinn actually did well. He made a triple substitution and changed the formation. And he was, well, in his words, he was 1-0 up in the second half for a period of time. He still went on to lose 6-1. But he did turn it around. But I think how Neil Maupay dominated that first half particularly. And he was quite confident in the interview, because we're going to be speaking to every player prior to each game. And we did ask him about his FIFA knowledge, which was very good, but also his FIFA playing ability. And he says that he does play very well. He rates himself as one of the best at Brighton, also saying that he thinks Glenn Murray might be the worst just because of his age, which is quite funny. But you can tell they've got a very good team spirit at Brighton as well, which I did enjoy. But yeah, I think Neil Maupay is definitely going to be... I'd be amazed if he doesn't advance to the latter stages. But what's so great about this draw is potentially Neil Maupay against Philip Billing is the next fixture. And we've both spoken, Joe, about the fact that Neil Maupay and Philip Billing are 2 of the favourites, but one of them will be knocked out because, of course, they play each other. And, of course, that is doing a disservice to Angus Gunn, who's about to play as well. So it's so competitive that we've got some potentially mouth-watering last 16 fixtures coming up.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we were talking to Neil Maupay earlier in the season, weren't we, when we were shooting Making It Pro, and he was talking about how much he plays the game and how keen he is. And he was saying, when he first joined this stream today, he was saying how much he wants to win the overall competition and how competitively he's taken it. He actually said that he was going to watch the Bournemouth versus Southampton game just to try and get a bit of insight into how Philip Billing and Angus Gunn are going to play, because he knows that that's going to be his next opposition, and his style of play means that he can build up from the back. He wants to watch and see if there's any weaknesses in the back line, any weaknesses that he can expose. And we've seen him and Dwight McNeil really put together 2 very similar styles of play. We're back in the arena now, though, with Bournemouth versus Southampton. Hopefully the internet connection holds out this time. Apologies for any technical difficulties before, guys. Obviously, we are all doing this from home, so we're trying our very best, but we can finally start the game. Bournemouth versus Southampton, the South Coast derby. The winner of this will go on to play Neil Maupay. It's Philip Billing versus Angus Gunn. Obviously, both teams are rated 85 overall. We are playing on 85 mode, meaning that everybody starts off with a flat playing field with a maximum of 3-star skills, so there's no unfair advantage. I'm really excited for this one, Harry.
So excited. Billing started off with a lot of the possession right now. You can tell that he's very, very smooth on the pad. But, it's going to be a tough... it's going to be first shot of the game. It's going to be a tough one. I've got a question for you, Billing. Who is your go-to player for Ultimate Team?
Ultimate probably name 95 rating.
Oh, okay. Good answer.
Okay, now we've seen a few good performances so far today. Maupay and Dwight McNeil both putting together a very similar style of play, intricate build-up play, and we can see Philip Billing sort of trying to do the same thing, that slow build-up play, looking to pick Angus Gunn apart around the edge of the box with that killer through ball. It's something we saw Dwight McNeil do very effectively, and Neil Maupay, who used Glenn Murray brilliantly, and he's in, Philip Billing, and it's 1-0 to the Dane. He puts Bournemouth 1-0 up against Southampton, Smithy.
Yeah, big first goal of the game. 10 minutes on the clock. Philip, talk us through that goal.
I think that was going
So there we go, first goal of the game. 10 minutes gone. Here's Bournemouth 1, Southampton 0. And of course, these two have met already in the Premier League. One game, Southampton and Bournemouth have played each other. Southampton 1, Bournemouth 3 that day in the Premier League. And it was the only time they faced each other. Both played 90 minutes in the game. And it was a famous win. Bournemouth's first ever win at Southampton. It did send Bournemouth third in the table at the time. Friday night game, you remember it as well. And Billing got the assist for the second goal. So they've met before. Philip Billing coming out on top that day. Will he come out on top this day, Joe?
Well, he's playing some fantastic football in and around the edge of the box, isn't he? Those turns. Angus is really struggling to keep hold of those turns. But there's still plenty of time left in this game. You know, we're only 15 minutes in. And Bournemouth at the moment are on top. But plenty of time left for this to be turned around. And the winner of this game will go on to face Neil Maupay, who of course won 6-1 in the day's opening kickoff against John McGinn. They're on a difficult side of the draw as well, because the eventual area they could be facing is Todd Cantwell, who's favourite, but Billing's in again, and it's another tap in. Beautiful backheel play. Philip Billing is running away with this. Big celebs, Harry.
Oh, and he scored with himself. This is the second player to do this. I mean, listen, this is an absolutely controlling game. He's actually controlled from the start to where we are right now. Absolutely amazing play, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, there's some real expert football on show here, isn't there? He's in again. It's Philip Billing. Oh, big chance with his own character there. I mean, Bournemouth looking sensational right now, and you can see why Philip Billing was tipped by so many, really, going into this tournament as a potential favourite alongside the likes of Todd Cantwell, Smithy.
I can't see the screen.
Yeah, it's great. We've just seen Philip Billing score with Philip Billing. We saw that from Dwight McNeil for Burnley. It's not the only time that Philip Billing has scored against Southampton. He did so against Southampton for Huddersfield last season. You remember, Angus Gunn was on the bench incidentally that day, so he scored against them in football, in the Premier League, of course, and now he's done it on FIFA as well, scoring with himself. So big moment, and it's been all Philip Billing, all Bournemouth. Bournemouth fans will be delighted watching this so far. Angus Gunn needs to get a grip into this game, or it could be a repeat of what we saw in our first game, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's quite as bad as the first game. Neil Maupay was nearly 4-0 up at this stage, wasn't he? But it's very similar. It's very similar style of play to Dwight McNeil and Neil Maupay, that slow build-up. And Billing has been tipped, we've already spoken about it, as an expert player, and it's coming to fruition. He's obviously played in tournaments in the past, hasn't he? He's played in the State, into Toto Cup, of course, and now he's playing in the EPL Invitational representing Bournemouth. Angus is just struggling a little bit to get a foothold in this game, Harry.
Yeah, it's very difficult for him to start any sort of rhythm of play. Billing's set up for him to just attack, really, and he's doing really well. A lot of passes are actually reaching their players, so it is difficult. It's one of those games where you've got to get one chance and one goal to actually change the way the game is, but that's going to be pretty hard to do. But yeah, Joe, it's pretty hard for him, man.
Yeah, we've already spoken to Philip pre-game, and we talked about how confident he is. He was saying that he's one of the better players in the Bournemouth squad at FIFA, whereas Angus, not overly confident. So maybe it's just a lack of confidence at the moment for Angus. But Philip is playing some fantastic football in the midfield, really keeping hold of the ball. And that slow, intricate build-up style that we've seen employed by Neil Maupay and we saw employed by Dwight McNeil really paying fruit in FIFA 20 at the moment. They probably play a lot of FIFA, a lot of foot champs at the moment, so they'll be doing well. And Philip Billing is looking like a serious contender for the overall prize, Smithy.
Yeah, he is. He's one that we spoke about. We said in the FIFA community, a lot of people were talking up Philip Billing, saying he is one of the favourites in the tournament. The likes of Todd Cantwell was mentioned as well. Neil Maupay, of course, we saw earlier, beating Aston Villa, John McGinn 6-1. Diogo Jota as well, I feel that hasn't been given enough credit in terms of where he's at. A lot of people saying that he could be one of the players to look out for. So a lot of top players competing in this tournament as Philip Billing has another chance, Joe.
Oh, Junior Stanislas there just stinging the goalkeeper's fingers. And it has all been Billing, really, pushing forward, passing it nicely around the edge of the box, taking his time, looking to pick those openings. And there's another one here. It's Billing again. He's missed some really good opportunities. A few one-on-ones, Harry.
Yeah, a few one-on-ones. It's one of those games where opportunities are just coming so fast that I'm sure he's going to score another one. Now look at this. We're going to stand absolutely make that together. He might try and get another one before the half's done, but it's been a very, very good start from Joe.
Yeah, we are approaching the half-time whistle now. Angus Gunn looks like he's going to have the last attack of the half. He's managed to get to the byline. Is he going to put the ball in the box? He's not. It's intricate football around the edge, and a goal here could really change the game, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, and that will surely be half-time, and it is half-time. Bournemouth 2-0 up in the South Coast derby against Southampton, Smithy.
Yeah, all Bournemouth. I think that is fair to say that Philip Billing did dominate that game against Angus Gunn. 2-0 at the halfway stage, but only 2 goals in it. We've seen a lot of goals in this tournament. So an early goal for Angus Gunn in the second half will put him right back in this game. Philip Billing, interestingly, does become the second player to score with himself after Dwight McNeil did it earlier on today. Harry, thoughts on that first half? Quite one-sided, wasn't it?
Yeah, very one-sided. Philip Billing showing how great he really is. And the talk about him before wasn't just talk; it actually is facts, and we're seeing that now. It's pretty hard for Andre Gunn to get into the game, but it's a second half, so we never know how that's going to end. But Smithy is very, very, very difficult for him right now.
Joe, substitutions. We've seen quite a few. We've seen a lot of tactical changes. Do we? Well, we can speak to them now. Philip, any tactical changes going into the second half? Are you happy with the way things are going?
No, I'm just going to keep the same, to be honest. I think pretty good first half, so, don't think so.
Angus, not the best first half for you. 2-0 down, but only 2 goals in it. Are you going to look to change anything going into the second half?
What's that for me?
No, that's for Angus. I think we've got technical difficulties with Angus. Either that or he's so focused about the second half that he's just blocking it out. So we can go back to the game. The second half is underway. I just want to get the game underway. This is what we want to bring you as well, of course, the match action. Second half is underway. Is Bournemouth 2, Southampton 0 in the South Coast derby. Philip Billing scoring with himself for the second goal. Joe, big first 5 needed for Angus Gunn if he's going to have any chance at all to get back into this game.
Yeah, big second half needed here. At the moment, Philip Billing is sailing through to face the pie, but this side of the draw does feature Todd Cantwell, doesn't it? He'll face off tomorrow, I think, against Lys Mousset of Sheffield United. So that game is going to be a big one to look forward to. And Angus Gunn's hit the bar. It's a great chance. But it's pushed out. Oh, it's a massive chance for Southampton, Harry.
Massive chance. And I always say that underdogs should never be counted out. And he started off the second half how we wanted him to start off the first. So we're looking forward to how he's going to continue this game, Joe.
Yeah, maybe we've written Angus Gunn off a little bit too early here because Philip Billing was under pressure there. But as I was saying, this side of the draw is a difficult one. Todd Cantwell's in it, and he is the tournament favourite going into it, really, against Lys Mousset, although it also features Diogo Jota. Billing's in again, chance! Good save with his own hands here from Angus Gunn.
Isn't that great to see, Joe? We've seen Angus Gunn make a great save at one end. We've seen Philip Billing score a great goal at the other end. We've seen Premier League players being as competitive as ever playing the game.
He's in. Angus Gunn is in.
Angus.
Chance. Missed it. He absolutely had to score that chance there, Angus Gunn.
Joe, I'm just
Surely,
thinking
Harry.
It's great for Angus Gunn, Joe.
Surely he should have scored.
Like this. He's got to take his chances.
Where you've got to take your chances. You can't miss those, especially against a player like Billing. And here we have it again. Here's another chance. It's a tough one. He should have taken that chance. It's a tough game, but chances are few and far between for him.
Yeah, it is a really tight game here down on the South Coast. Much more tight than we were expecting, potentially. Angus Gunn's come back into it a little bit in this second half. Struggled to speak to him a little bit because of the internet connection and the technical difficulties, but nevertheless, everybody's doing this from their home, so I'm sure everybody's understanding. And Philip Billing at the moment is going through to face Neil Mopai in what is going to be an absolutely epic game, Smithy.
Oh, I mean, epic is the right word to use, Joe, because I will not be able to separate those two. As another chance, and it's another goal for Philip Billing. What a strike that is. It is Bournemouth 3, Southampton 0, 65 minutes on the clock.
Angus Gunn there calling for offside, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be the offside. He doesn't look happy. Philip Billing smiling away there in Bournemouth as they go 3-0 up. Now it's going to be interesting to see. Does he go all out, Angus Gunn, and put it on to ultra attacking and look to push players forward? Or does he just stay as it is 3-0 and hope it doesn't get any worse, Harry?
I mean, it's the only thing you can do at this position because the formation he was using right now has been breached 3 times by Philip Billing. So I think he has to go ultra attacking. Hope for the best. There's still time. I mean, if he scores a goal every 7 minutes, then there's a chance. But it looks a bit bleak at the moment for him.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen tactics play a big role, though. We saw Ryan Fredericks nearly come back and complete that comeback against Dwight McNeil, didn't we? We also nearly saw Nathaniel Chalobah come back and overturn Josh Franceschi's advantage. So it could come down to substitutions and the way they play. But Angus Gunn here racing forward. Big chance again for Angus Gunn. Another fantastic save by Ramsdale in the Bournemouth net, Smithy.
Yeah, I was going to say Angus Gunn himself would have been pleased with that save, I think, Joe. It's been good goalkeeping attributes both ends from Bournemouth and Southampton, but Angus Gunn badly needs a goal in this game. I think he's played all right this second half, Joe. He's had some chances, but 2 big chances missed. He simply has to take these. There's only 15 minutes left on the clock, and surely Philip Billing will look to wind this down. He needs a goal very soon, or we would expect Philip Billing to advance into the next round. And don't forget, this is our final match from round 1, from day 1, but loads more matches to bring you over the next 5 days until Saturday, Joe, where we will have the semi-finals and the grand final.
Yeah, exactly. Tomorrow, if you tune in, here's a chance, by the way, for Philip Billing. But he doesn't take it. If you tune in tomorrow, you're going to see Raheem Sterling versus Wilfried Zaha, a clash that has been much talked about online. Philip Billing's in again, though. We'll also see Manchester United versus Liverpool, Chelsea versus Everton, and Tottenham against Newcastle, that will see Moussa Sissoko return to face his old side, a contest that I'm really looking forward to, actually. So tomorrow has some incredible fixtures penned in, so make sure you tune in for those games too. But right here, right now, it looks like Philip Billing is going to go on to face Neil Mopai, Harry.
Yeah, it does look so. It's been a thoroughly entertaining game here today. I think he's been in control of the game so far, from start to finish, really, at this point. But Angus Gunn did show a good start to the second half with that amazing opportunity. But it's been one of those ones where you have to take your chances, and that hasn't been the case today. But he's got a chance here. But yeah, Joe, it's been a good one.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Neil Mopai, who said that he was going to be watching this game, has managed to pick anything up from this Philip Billing performance, whether or not he's seen any chinks in the armour, Smithy.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? Well, this is why it's such a fantastic event. Every single Premier League team is involved. Some of the biggest names in the Premier League, and also the Premier League players that aren't involved are watching to look at the opposition. So it's just had absolutely everything, this game. It's straight knockout, which is meant for exciting end-to-end action, goals galore. And the fact that, as you said, we've got some of the biggest names in the Premier League, plus some celebrity fans playing against each other, but also watching and observing. It's just set to be a great day. And you mentioned the fixtures that we're looking forward to tomorrow. Man City versus Palace, Man United v Liverpool, Chelsea v Everton, and Spurs versus Newcastle. I mean, what a day in store we've got tomorrow as we approach the final stages of this game. And it's another goal. Joe, Philip Billing is running riot, 4-0 in the South Coast derby.
Yeah, fantastic play by Philip Billing. And he scored with himself yet again, hasn't he? That front post finish that is so synonymous with FIFA 20 coming forward there. Brilliant goal, 4-0, game over. And Philip Billing is dancing, Harry.
Well-deserved performance. I mean, from start to finish, like I said, he was amazing. Got 2 goals with himself as well. Something that no player's actually done. So that's a record that he's created for himself. and I know he's really happy with himself. Great performance.
Yeah, Philip, I don't know whether you can hear us now. What did you make of that performance? What did you make of your performance there, Philip?
It was all right. Still gave a few chances away to gave a few silly. He could have scored a few goals. So I need to tighten up my defense.
Yeah, and obviously you're going to go on to face Neil Maupay as well over the next few days. I don't know whether you caught his game earlier. He put 6 goals past John McGinn. Are you going to have to change anything for that Brighton fixture?
I think just have to be better defensively, to be honest. I think that I was a bit sloppy at times. We could have scored a few goals. So for that game, I'm going to be looking more, towards defending a bit better.
There we have it then, Smithy.
Yeah, big thanks to our players. Thank you both for joining us. Thank you both for the game. Congratulations to Philip. Joe, it's just, again, sums up how great this tournament is. We've just seen Philip Billing score with Philip Billing against Angus Gunn, and Angus Gunn was in goal. So it's just been, a great watch, hasn't it? And a perfect game to conclude day one, I feel.
Yeah, brilliant way to end the day. The first clean sheet we've seen as well today, which is good to see because the other games have featured so many goals. So maybe that's a little sign that Philip Billing is slightly stronger defensively than some of the other players we've seen so far today, but some massive matchups coming tomorrow as well.
Yeah, Harry, what's your thought? We've seen obviously 4 matches, 8 players now, 8 teams in total. Who do you think you've been most impressed with of the 8 teams that we've seen in action?
I'd have to say Brighton and Bournemouth for me. 2 of the best players, individual players, for me actually have been Neil Maupay and Philip Billing. They've dominated the games from start to finish, and I think that's the level that it's going to be, and it's going to be a great game for them. I can't wait to watch that game actually, because that game is going to probably be a blockbuster. And as you said earlier, Smithy, one of them is not going to be able to actually win this trophy, so it's going to be a bit difficult for one of them to take it. So I can't wait to see that as well.
Yeah, here is confirmation of day one. So that concludes all of our action from day one. It also concludes all of the matches from round one as well. So here's confirmation of all of those games. Brighton, emphatic 6-1 winners. That was Neil Maupay against John McGinn, as we've mentioned there. Our first celebrity fan involvement was John Franceschi from UMIT 6. He dispatched of Nathaniel Challoner of Watford 4-3. Very, very exciting game that was. Burnley's Dwight McNeil scored as Burnley's Dwight McNeil to beat Ryan Fredericks of West Ham 3-2. And then, as Joe alluded to there, the first clean sheet of the day, Philip Billing, one of the favourites of the tournament, beating Angus Gunn of Southampton 4-0. So this is what it means for the draw. As we said, that is all of our round one games completed. Just to reiterate, 8 teams had to enter at round one based on the draw that was done by Jamie Redknapp. The other 12 teams entered at the last 16 phase, which means we now know all of the teams that will be in the last 16, and the teams that won today were Brighton, who will play Bournemouth in the last 16, and Arsenal, who will play Burnley in the last 16. So many looking forward to, so many games that we are looking forward to, as you said. Let's have a look at tomorrow's fixtures. Look at the teams in action. Manchester City against Crystal Palace. That is, of course, Raheem Sterling against Wilfried Zaha. Manchester United will play Liverpool. Another Trent Alexander-Arnold, of course, playing for Liverpool. We know that he's another favourite, another player that is a keen FIFA player, and we've spoken with him in the past about his knowledge of FIFA. We expect him to go very far in this tournament, but he has to get past Man United's Tom Grennan first. Chelsea's Reece James is up against Everton. Andre Gomez representing Everton, and Moussa Sissoko for Spurs against his former club Newcastle, and more specifically Christian Atsu representing Newcastle United. Joe, I feel bad even asking this question. Is there a particular game you're looking forward to tomorrow? Because there's 4 absolute blockbusters, isn't there?
Yeah, very, very tough to call. I think maybe Manchester United versus Liverpool. I think the pressure on the celebrity fans is massive, and we know that Trent Alexander-Arnold is a very, very good footballer and a very, very good FIFA player. So I'm really looking forward to Tom Grennan versus Trent.
Harry, what about yourself? It's been great to see. Obviously, we've had so many fans getting involved and watching the stream. What are they saying? Who do they feel is the favourite, having seen all of the action in day one?
A lot of them are rooting for Brighton's Neil Maupay just by the way he was playing the first game of today, which was an amazing game. So a lot of them are rooting for him. But of late, we've had a high surgence of Philip Billing fans. So it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow between two of one of the best wingers in the league, the Palace and the City game, to see how great that's going to be. We've seen battles with them on the field, so it'll be good to see it on FIFA as well, man.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic first day's play. That does complete round one. Big thanks from myself, from Joe, and from Harry. We hope that you all enjoyed the broadcast. All of us at home, of course. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Our first game, Man City against Crystal Palace. Wilfried Zaha against Raheem Sterling. It should be absolutely fascinating. Please don't forget to stay home, stay safe, save lives. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.